Welcome to Elections Explained, 6 Things to Know Before You Vote. Voting is a powerful act, yet many people don't realize its true impact. Did you know that in 2016, nearly 100 million eligible Americans didn't vote? That's almost half of all voters. Shocking, right? Here's another surprise. In the 2000 US presidential election, just 537 votes in Florida decided the winner. Your vote truly matters. In this video, we'll dive into 6 crucial things every voter should know. We'll decode the power of your vote, reveal the secrets behind election processes, and explore the art of political campaigns. We'll also look at how to ensure your vote counts and the critical issues beyond the candidates. Finally, we'll glimpse into the future of voting technology. Ready to become a more informed voter? Let's get started and make your vote count. Chapter 1: Decoding Democracy, the power of your vote. Understanding democracy starts with knowing the power of your vote. Every vote counts, and it can truly shape the future of your community and country. Think of your vote as your voice in how things are run. Did you know that in the 2000 US presidential election, the winner was decided by just 537 votes in Florida? That's a tiny number compared to the millions who voted. This shows how even a few votes can change the outcome. Voting is more than just picking a name on a ballot. It's about choosing someone who will represent your values and interests. It's like hiring someone to do a job for you, and you want the best person for it. There's a famous quote by Abraham Lincoln: "Elections belong to the people." This means that we, the voters, hold the power. It's our chance to have a say in decisions that affect our daily lives. Some people think their vote doesn't matter, but imagine if everyone thought that way. No one would vote, and the system would fail. Your vote is a piece of a bigger puzzle, and every piece is important. Statistics show that in local elections, voter turnout is often below 20%. This means most people aren't using their power to influence local decisions that directly impact their lives. Don't miss out on this chance. In 2016, about 100 million eligible Americans didn't vote. That's nearly half of all voters. Imagine the changes that could happen if more people exercised their right to vote. One key aspect of democracy is that it gives everyone a voice, no matter their background or status. It's about equality and fairness. When you vote, you're participating in a tradition that has shaped nations and created histories. Remember, your vote is your voice. It's your way of saying what you believe in and what you want for your community. Don't underestimate the power you have. Chapter 2: Behind the Ballot, how elections really work. Have you ever wondered what happens behind the scenes of an election? It's like a big, coordinated dance. Everything has to move smoothly to make sure everyone gets a chance to vote and every vote is counted. Elections start long before the voting day. Candidates announce their plans to run, and this is where it all begins. They campaign, debate, and try to win your support. One interesting fact is that in the US, the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November was chosen as election day to fit the 19th century agrarian calendar. Farmers needed a day that didn't interfere with harvest time or market days. Primaries are the first step. This is where parties choose their candidates for the general election. It's like a big playoff before the championship game. Only the best make it to the final round. During the general election, we vote for the candidates who made it through the primaries. This is the main event. In the US, it's not just about picking the president, there are many local and state officials to vote for as well. The Electoral College is a unique feature of US presidential elections. Instead of a direct popular vote, electors from each state cast the final votes. This system was created to balance the influence of smaller states against larger ones. Did you know that each state gets a number of electors equal to its total number of senators and representatives in Congress? That's why states like California have more electors than states like Wyoming. Votes are counted in a very structured way. Each state has its own process, but generally, ballots are collected, verified, and then counted by officials. It's a meticulous process to ensure accuracy. In recent years, technology has changed how we vote. Electronic voting machines and mail-in ballots have made voting more accessible. However, these advancements also require strict security measures to prevent fraud. There are also safeguards in place to ensure that the election is fair and free from tampering. Observers from different parties and independent organizations monitor the process to make sure everything is done correctly. Understanding how elections work helps us appreciate the complexity and importance of our voting system. It's a well-orchestrated event designed to give every eligible person a chance to have their say. By knowing what happens behind the ballot, you can better understand the importance of your role in this process. Voting isn't just a right, it's a responsibility that comes with being part of a democracy. So next time you head to the polls, remember all the work that goes into making sure your vote counts. And don't forget, your participation is what keeps democracy alive and thriving. Chapter 3, Campaign Chronicles, The Art of Political Persuasion. Political campaigns are like giant marketing machines. They aim to convince you that their candidate is the best choice. The strategies they use can be fascinating and complex. One of the oldest strategies is the stump speech. This is a standard speech a candidate gives at multiple locations. It's called a stump speech because, in the 1800s, politicians would stand on tree stumps to address crowds. Did you know that the average political campaign spends 30% of its budget on media advertising? This includes TV, radio, and now, social media. Ads are crafted to catch your attention and leave a lasting impression. Social media has revolutionized campaigns. Platforms like Facebook and Twitter allow candidates to reach millions instantly. In the 2020 US election, both major parties spent over $1 billion on digital ads alone. A clever slogan can make a big difference. Think of, "Yes, we can," or "Make America Great Again." These slogans are simple yet powerful, designed to be memorable and stir emotions. Grassroots campaigns are another powerful tool. These are local, community-based efforts to build support. Volunteers knock on doors, make phone calls, and hold events to spread the word. Debates are key moments in any campaign. They give voters a chance to see candidates side by side. Sometimes, a single debate performance can change the course of an election. Remember the first televised debate between Nixon and Kennedy? It's a classic example of how appearance and confidence can sway voters. Polling is a major part of campaigns. Polls show candidates where they stand and what issues matter most to voters. However, polls can be tricky. They're snapshots of a moment in time, not predictions. Fundraising is crucial for campaigns. Candidates need money to run ads, hold events, and pay staff. Interestingly, small donations from individual supporters have become increasingly important. In 2020, Bernie Sanders raised millions from small donors, showing the power of grassroots support. Endorsements can also boost a campaign. When influential people or organizations back a candidate, it can sway undecided voters. Celebrities, unions, and former presidents often lend their support. Chapter 4, Voter Voices. Ensuring your vote counts. Your vote is your voice, and it's important to make sure it's heard. There are a few steps you can take to ensure your vote counts and your voice is included in the decision-making process. First, make sure you're registered to vote. This sounds simple, but millions of eligible voters miss out because they're not registered. Many places offer online registration, making it easier than ever. Check your registration status regularly. Errors happen, and sometimes people get removed from voter rolls by mistake. It's better to catch any issues early. Know your voting options. Many areas offer early voting or mail-in ballots. These options can make voting more convenient, especially if you can't make it to the polls on election day. Understand voter ID laws in your area. Some places require you to show an ID to vote. Make sure you have the correct identification to avoid any problems at the polls. If you're voting by mail, pay close attention to the instructions. Simple mistakes, like forgetting to sign your ballot, can lead to your vote being rejected. Follow the guidelines carefully to ensure your vote is counted. Be aware of deadlines. Each state has different deadlines for registration, requesting mail-in ballots, and submitting those ballots. Missing a deadline means your vote won't count. Election day can be busy, so plan ahead. Know where your polling place is and what times it's open. If possible, vote during non-peak hours to avoid long lines. If you encounter any problems while voting, know your rights. Every voter has the right to cast a ballot if they are eligible. Poll workers are there to help, and many places have hotlines you can call for assistance. Get informed about the candidates and issues on the ballot. Don't wait until you're in the voting booth to make your decisions. Research beforehand so you can make informed choices. Local elections matter just as much as national ones. Your city council, school board, and local judges make decisions that directly impact your daily life. Don't overlook these races. Voting is not just about the big elections. Participate in primaries, special elections, and referendums. Every election is a chance to have your say. Encourage others to vote. Talk to your friends and family about the importance of voting. Sometimes a simple reminder can make a big difference. In 2018, voter turnout in the US midterm elections was the highest it had been in over a century, with about 50% of eligible voters participating. This shows that when people are motivated, they show up. Chapter 5, Issue Insight, Voting Beyond the Candidates. When you vote, you're not just choosing a person. You're also voting on key issues that can shape your community and country. Understanding these issues is crucial. One common type of issue on ballots is referendums. These are direct votes by the electorate on specific proposals. They can range from legalizing marijuana to funding public projects. In 2016, California voters passed Proposition 64, legalizing recreational marijuana. This showed how a single vote can change state laws and impact millions of people. Another example is bond issues. These are votes to allow the government to borrow money for large projects like building schools or improving infrastructure. It's about investing in the future. In 2020, Colorado passed a measure to reintroduce gray wolves to the state. This was a unique referendum showing how specific and local some ballot issues can be. Voting on issues requires research. Look at who supports and opposes each measure. Understanding the arguments on both sides helps you make an informed decision. A good strategy is to follow the money. See who's funding the campaigns for and against the issue. This can reveal a lot about the potential impacts. Quotes from influential books can also provide insight. For instance, in The Price of Civilization, Jeffrey Sachs argues that informed citizens are crucial for democracy. This highlights the importance of understanding ballot issues. Check multiple sources. Don't rely on just one website or news outlet. Look at different perspectives to get a fuller picture. Consider the long-term effects. Some issues might have immediate benefits but could cause problems down the line. Think about how today's vote will shape the future. Talk to people you trust. Discussing issues with friends and family can help you see different viewpoints and clarify your own thoughts. Stay skeptical. Campaign ads and slogans can be misleading. Always verify the facts before making your decision. Understanding issues also means knowing what's at stake. Sometimes, it's about public health, education, or environmental protection. Each vote has a direct impact on these areas. In 2018, Florida voters passed Amendment 4, restoring voting rights to over 1 million ex-felons. This was a huge civil rights victory and showed the power of issue voting. Chapter 6, Future Forward, The Evolution of Voting Technology. Voting technology is constantly evolving. From paper ballots to electronic voting, each change aims to make voting more accessible and secure. In the past, voting was done using paper ballots. These are still used today in many places because they provide a tangible record of each vote. Electronic voting machines were introduced to speed up the process and reduce errors. However, they come with their own set of challenges, including security concerns. One fascinating development is online voting. Estonia is a pioneer in this area, allowing citizens to vote online since 2005. This system is secure and convenient, increasing voter turnout. Biometric verification is another innovation. Countries like India use fingerprints and facial recognition to ensure each vote is legitimate. This technology reduces fraud and increases trust in the system. Blockchain technology is being explored as a way to secure votes. Blockchain's transparency and security could revolutionize how we vote, ensuring that each vote is accurately counted and recorded. Mail-in ballots have gained popularity, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. They provide a safe and convenient way to vote, but require strict measures to prevent fraud. In 2020, over 65 million Americans voted by mail, showing the system's scalability and popularity. However, this also highlighted the need for robust systems to handle such volumes. Accessibility is a key focus for the future of voting. Technologies are being developed to help people with disabilities vote independently and securely. This includes audio ballots and sip and puff devices for those with physical limitations. Mobile voting is another exciting possibility. Secure apps could allow people to vote from their smartphones, making voting as easy as sending a text message. Security is always a top concern with any new technology. Ensuring that voting systems are protected from hacking and tampering is crucial. This involves regular audits and updates to the technology. One interesting fact is that in Brazil, all voting is done electronically, and results are typically available within hours. This shows the efficiency and potential of electronic systems. Quotes from experts can shed light on this topic. David Jefferson, a computer scientist, has said, "The challenge is to ensure that convenience does not compromise security." This balance is key to future developments.